shown correctly? Or should I move it?
No, it's good, and you're on. So you're live. You need to talk and make sure that they can hear you.
Are we testing?
Yes.
Do I keep talking? Okay. I keep talking. And I'm watching the sky for the painting.
And Kenny should join us so that I can put him on camera because my voice is limited and he's going to take over.
Where's your tea?
He's going to take over. Now, Ken, I do not know how I can bring you on camera.
Joni, I want to fix a honey for you with lemon.
Okay, Ken, I'm not seeing something that lets me bring you on camera. I need to have something that says you're watching. Okay, Ken, I'm going to have you on Mom's iPhone. Call and then you can speak. Okay? Call and you can speak.
Mm.
It'll work. So call now. Ken, call Mom's iPhone. Okay, we're in business. Kenny is going to read what's on the screen.
Hey, Joni, I just have to figure out how to do that.
No, you're fine. We can hear you. As long as you can read the comments on the screen, you're good.
Oh, good. I actually can.
Okay, you're in business. I'm not speaking anymore.
Okay, good.
Okay, sis.
Tell me when to say welcome.
You're on, girl.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome and hello. That's my water.
Okay, you're in business, sweetheart.
Okay. This has been an important day for me. Before I spoke to you,
Guys, there's a lot of...
I just moved Mom's water. She's good now.
Oh, okay. I have my glasses, I have my papers, I have everything. My grandchild, Jessie, has a friend, and her name is Christina Kohler. And she asked me if I could speak on peace and forgiveness. You see, Eric, my husband, was liberated from the concentration camp, Dachau, on May 5th. And we have always celebrated May 5th every day, every year, as a major holiday. Because the way he said, I don't need my birthday celebrated. The day that is the most important birthday for me is May 5th, when I was liberated. And Christina asked me to speak about the Holocaust and about peace and forgiveness. But you picked May 3rd, which is so close to May 5th, that I asked if I should speak about Eric, and I did. And it was a fascinating session because the questions about peace and forgiveness are questions we have to deal with every day. So-and-so did this. How do I get even? So-and-so is creating this to make me be an enemy. What do I do with the anger in me? The questions that Christina asked are wonderful, and because of it, I would like to read them out to you, and I would like you to think of what your answers would have been. First of all, how would you define hatred and peace? Can you talk a little about your personal process and relationship with finding forgiveness? Which is more important, the process or the product of peace? And then, why is it important to forgive those who you feel have wronged you? And because I'm going to make believe it's May 5th and Liberation Day, I'm going to read to you about my husband. And I'll begin this way.
Disconnected. Can people hear? Are people back on?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm used to Eileen.
You're back on. Okay, keep going. Candy, stay on the phone.
Okay.
Yes.
Eric was a concentration camp survivor of the Holocaust. At the age of 16, he and his mother, aunt, and uncle fled Germany when Hitler came into power. They were captured, put into the Shovel ghetto, and then from one concentration camp to another. The men and women were separated. One day his mother saw him behind a fence and tried to wave to him. A guard saw her do so and began to beat her. Eric was powerless to help her, and he carried that memory with him as the greatest horror he endured. He was never able to live without that terrible feeling that he had to watch and not be able to help. He once told me that for a long time after liberation, he carried a deep rage within him, and since there were no Nazi guards on whom to vent that rage, he felt it tearing him apart. The first job he had was in a factory, and the guard asked him, "Hey, bring me my work clothes." And Eric did. And after the day, the guard said, "Bring me my good clothes." And Eric did. And then he spoke to a friend and he said, "Is that part of my job?" And the man said, "No." And Eric said, "The next time he asks me to bring his work clothes and take them back, tell him, Eric said, do it yourself. It's not my job." And the man said, "You can't do that. He's the boss." And Eric said, "Yes, nobody's going to push me around anymore." And the guard, when he was told that, he shoved Eric, and Eric said, "Nobody's ever going to shove me again." So they both ended up on the floor, and Eric lost his first job. He was in a diner they always used to go to because he knew how to get the food cheaply. He had no money. And for a quarter he could get a portion of mashed potatoes, which was filling. And then if he asked for the gravy on top, they always gave it to him for free. And it cost a quarter. And that was what Eric ate. And a homeless man was there one day, and he said to Eric, "Hey, buddy, give me $1." And Eric fished into his pocket, and he took out a quarter and gave it to him. And the guy pushed him and said, "Hey, buddy." I said, "Give me $1." And Eric said the next thing they knew, they were both on the floor. And they were thrown out and were told never to come back again. He knew he had to get rid of the rage because he couldn't control it. And in all those years of marriage, I saw him fighting that. It happened if there was a traffic jam. he would say, "Did you see that guy cutting in front of the other one? Let's go get him." And I would say, "Eric, stop. Don't. They'll arrest you." And he gave in. And I watched him learning to control the rage. He once told me that for a long time after liberation, he carried a deep rage within him. And since there were no Nazi guards on whom to vent that rage, he felt it was tearing him apart. Many years later, on his last days, I sat at the foot of his bed when visitors came, and one asked how he had dealt with that rage, and I will never forget his answer. I know I've mentioned it before, but listen to it again because of the last lines. I would feel it coming in a traffic jam, in a rude comment of a stranger, and I would make believe that I was pulling it out of my throat like a foreign object and heaving it far away. It took years, but there was a day when there was nothing to grab. And underneath, I found myself again. That rage had made who I am disappear. And it's gone. In my case, he taught me how to overcome fear. I had been hidden in our apartment with my parents and brother for 6 months when Hitler's armies marched into my birth city of Vienna. Nobody betrayed our presence, and Uncle was able to get us visas to Panama, and we were free. But I was afraid of everything. And when we married, he knew that and had me work on it by encouraging me to do things that I wanted to try. When I wanted to sit on a street corner, and European-born middle-aged women, at that time I was middle-aged, don't sit on street corners to paint. He would say, "What can they do? Arrest you? What you want to do, if it doesn't hurt anyone, do it. Don't let them win. Let them go. They're ghosts who no longer exist." It took time, but I'm no longer afraid of things which I don't have to deal with, and only face them and work them out as best as I can. When my grandchild, Jessie, and I were doing my website, I was miserable because I had to go through papers and look for things. And I was not a very careful writer. I was quite sloppy. And what Jessie said to me, "Why do you let something that gave you so much pleasure and joy make you stressed out because you have to work for it now?" And I learned to control stress. Now, I got a wonderful email yesterday from my friends in California about the painting that I'm speaking about today.
Mom, should I read your comments?
I would love it. Thank you.
Sorry I cut her off, folks. I'm hearing this a little earlier than everyone else. I'll try to do better.
So go through the comments, Ken.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the screen to work, Joe. Okay. Okay, got it. So Tammy Smith said, "Now we can hear," and Carol said, "Yes." We had an issue with it being frozen, and people let us know. And then we were told that all is good. And then Michelle said, "Good evening, all." And Martha said, "Hi, Hedy." And Carl said, "Hi from Mitch." And Greg Romer is watching. And Tammy Smith said, "We love Monday." I think some of the earlier comments
Thank
Other
you.
people as well sent love.
Okay.
Julie said, so good to hear about Eric. We miss him so much. Love you all. And Michelle said hello to Ken and Joe and Mitch and Joni and Greg.
Thank you. Okay. I want to speak a little bit about religion, because today we're showing the synagogue, and Kenny's friend sent me a wonderful article which is posted, okay? So I won't do anything which is already posted, but I do want to speak about religion, because religion is only a word. Basically, it means one thing: thou shalt love thy neighbor as you love yourself. But what if you don't love yourself? What if you've committed things against other people that make you feel bad? So religion needs to be seen through the eyes of the interpreter. If the religion asks you to speak against another religion, how do you know that that other religion isn't being misinterpreted by them? My religion in Panama was in a Catholic school. I loved those nuns, but they were Swiss nuns. And when I speak in America to people who were raised by nuns of different religions, there was a lot of harshness. So it's not the religion, it's how you interpret it. And a friend of mine in Panama was not treated as well as I was, because her parents were not married in the church. Neither was mine, but I was a refugee. And I wasn't subjected to the same things. My parents were Jewish, so they couldn't have been married by the Catholic Church. But be careful with how you interpret the word religion. Think of it. I was in Israel, and they showed me a cave where ancient Christians were fed to the lions. Is that religion? When I say fed to the lions, yes, they were put into that cave. That was religion in those days. The idea of putting Christ on a cross with nails, that was religion in those days. If somebody stole a loaf of bread to feed his family, he was nailed to a cross also. We've come a long way. Keep it going. Let religion be being kind. It doesn't matter what the religion is. They all mean the same thing. But they all want the members for themselves. And so they pretty much don't deal well with people who don't join their religion. The world has changed. My son and his future husband were married with a Catholic priest and a Jewish priestess, I guess. That wasn't allowed once. I have great hopes for the world as it goes on. But what I did before at that seminar, at that webinar, gave me so much hope, because it dealt with peace and forgiveness. It didn't deal with this religion is wrong and that religion is right. Are there any comments that I could say anything about? Then let me go to the painting, okay? I am having such joy with this painting because, first of all, the tree, I can't sit in front of the tree because I can't drive and because I'm too handicapped to sit for long on a street and paint. So I do have the wonderful photographs, and I did see the tree. So I thought of the tree. Originally, I was going to put a beautiful background. I was going to have hills and mountains and sky and clouds. And then I looked at this tree and I thought, you have been hurt so badly and so much. Where is my book, Joni, that I had right there? Wait, I can get it.
No, stay there, I'll get it for you.
No, it's...
Stay there.
No, I have it right. No, I don't.
Sit.
Okay.
Would
It's
you
about...
like me to read the comments?
I'd love that, yes.
Okay. So Michelle said, "I love you, Hedy." And
I love her too.
watching, and Brenda is watching, and her nan is watching, and Lorraine said, "Hedy, I think my comment was lost, but I believe that you and Eric were each other's unpaid, unconditional therapists that found solutions for each other to overcome issues caused by hatred." And Brenda is watching, and Martha said that that it looks like the branches are waving to the sky.
Yes.
And Joe Tripp said, "What a lovely story about Eric." And Michelle said, "I remember Eric gradually becoming softer." And she said, "I love you, Hedy."
I love you all. Okay. Here's what happened. The tree was so badly hurt. The roots show it. And I thought, there must be reactions. And what I did was, I spoke to Jesse. I said, Jesse, what do you think of that sky? And what he said was, why not make it dark with wisps of white clouds, right? And I did that. But in between, 3 dear friends of ours, Julie and Mark and Charlie, came and brought us books on trees. And one is The Hidden Life of Trees. And this painting is going to show that. I am going to read parts of it to you. This is a book that if any of you need a gift, buy yourself this book. Because I'm going to read this to you. We read in fairy tales of trees with human faces, trees that can talk and sometimes walk. This enchanted forest is the kind of place I feel sure that Peter Wohlleben, who wrote this book, inhabits. His deep understanding of the lives of trees, reached through decades of careful observation and study, reveals a world so astonishing that if you read his book, I believe that forests will become magical places for you too. One reason that many of us fail to understand trees is that they live on a different time scale than us. One of the oldest trees on earth, a spruce in Sweden, Kent, that's for you, Sweden, is more than 9,500 years old. That's 115 times longer than the average human lifetime. Creatures with such a luxury of time in their hands can afford to take things at a leisurely pace. Now listen to this. The electrical impulses that pass through the roots of trees, for example, move at the slow rate of 1/3 of an inch per second. But why, you might ask, do trees pass electrical impulses through their tissues at all? The answer is that trees need to communicate, and electrical impulses are just one of their many means of communication. Trees also use the sense of smell and taste. For communication. If a giraffe starts eating an African acacia, the tree releases a chemical into the air that signals that a threat is at hand. Now, what if we humans did that? They protect each other. As I paint this tree, it's in my brain. This tree has to speak to you, and it will. I'm going to have the branches reach to the sky. I'm going to have the breaking branches say what I will find out as I work. I have no idea what this will become, but it's going to be human race. We are not giving up. We're going to become kinder and better. Maybe someday war will disappear.
Mom, should I read the comments?
Yes, thank you.
So beautiful what you're saying. So amazing. Well, Mary Lou said, we the branches say hi. And Laura says, I am preparing to eat potatoes on May 5th. And she said, oh, I was listening to that book a few months ago. Trees are our fellow beings. And Lorraine asked, is there a difference in the brushes and paint and oil that you use today than the ones you used many years ago? Is it easier today?
No, it's the same.
Okay.
They're the same.
Okay. And Martha said we should all eat mashed potatoes on May 5th. And Julie said we are thrilled that the book is helping you to know your tree as you paint it. And Michelle said the tree is already beautiful, already so beautiful as are your words.
I have to stop. I love you all so much. You know, I'm not saying that word loosely. I love you. Thank you for making the world better, 'cause that's your job. I love you all.